Guys, there is no doubt expanding to the new market or entering new industry, it will cause a lot of risk to your business. Today, I will share with you four main risks that are waiting for you when you're expanding to the new market or new industry. Hello everyone, my name is Adam Skoneczny and you are watching Go Global Asia podcast. I've been living in Asia for 9 years and last 7 years as a CEO of Avid organization, I've been helping Asian businesses expand to the global market. In this podcast, I am discussing everything related to global expansion, sales, and collaboration with the Western clients. Hello everyone, I'm back to Vietnam. I'm really happy to be back in our office and really happy to record again another video for you guys. Today we will be talking about the risk of the global expansion. I've been helping expand to another market last 7 years. I've been working with multiple different companies. I was working with the startups, very small companies, starting even from 15 people, up to the corporation with more than 2 or 3,000 employees. So I saw a lot of different scenarios, and there are four risks that each of those companies was facing. And I will share with you what are those risks. And then, obviously, when you know what is the risk, you can act ahead of time to make sure that you can kind of work around and make sure that you can have a safe and successful global expansion. So, guys, let me start and get right into it. Point number one, cultural misalignment, business ethic, and work ethic. So guys, in this point, I'm not only talking about different language that we use and different communication style, but also about different work ethic and business ethic. For example, in Vietnam, we have something what we call 13 salary. 13 salary is given to the employees at the beginning of the Lunar New Year. So if you do not if you are not aware or if you don't know about those kind of common practice or business ethic in Vietnam, your employee might be really unsatisfied, if I can call it like that. In Europe, we have this specific feedback style where we explaining directly or expressing ourselves directly to employees. Again, if you are not aware of this kind of communication style and you are a business owner from Asia and you are not able to pass your information to your potential client or to the people you're working with, then your business expansion might be unsuccessful. So keeping in mind that except different language, different culture, there are business ethic, work ethic that you should be aware when you enter into that market. Second point I would like to mention is operation adaptability. And here is something what is really common when we collaborate with Vietnamese IT companies who already has experience working with Japanese client and they want to expand to the Western market. You must know that in Japan it's very common to use waterfall system of software development. What is this? Basically, waterfall development methodology, let's call it like that, is the way where the client providing you full scope of work with extreme details implemented to the scope of work. And then you as an IT service provider, you should execute it following client requirements. You shouldn't change anything. You shouldn't add anything. You should just follow instruction. However, in Europe, it's completely different. In Europe, we need to engage with the client. We need to share our expertise. We need to discuss with the client. We need to give our suggestions. Why? Because in Europe, people treat you as an expert and want to hear your expertise. What do I mean? Imagine if you go to the doctor and You share some information with the doctors, share information about your disease, wherever, and then you expect from the doctor to tell you what to do. The same thing is with the Western businesses. When you work with them, they treat you like an expert and they want to hear your voice and hear your advice. So now you can see what kind of operation misalignment you might have. First of all, your delivery team. Your delivery team, if they are used to working with the Japanese style, they will not be engaged so much with the Western client. What do I mean? Basically, they will waiting for the order, for the requirements from the client, and then they will execute it. So guys, if you see this kind of misalignment, if you are aware now that okay, your team, delivery team, might have this kind of habit executing tasks from the client, you need to consider about this when you will be entering to the Western markets. Additionally, regarding the operation adaptability, what I would like to mention is that some clients in some specific country, they might require from you to be much more flexible than in other. What do I mean? Let's imagine that you are entering into collaboration under the project-based contract. That means there is the scope of work and you should follow the scope of work, roadmap, and delivery time. However, in some countries, people might feel this is completely normal if they change scope of work. So that's mean if you enter in this kind of collaboration with this type of the client, you need to be much more flexible. Otherwise, this kind of business collaboration might be not successful. And again, some countries there are more tend to do this kind of changes in scope of work than other. For instance, in Spain, this kind of situation is really common. So, guys, if you're entering a new market or new industry, make sure you understand how they operate, how they deliver, and then you need to work with your team to pass them this knowledge, implement new behavior, new operation, new standard operation procedures to make sure that you can have successful collaboration with new clients. Next, it's a regulatory changes. And usually I don't like to talk about this. I don't like to talk about the politics and economy, but in today world, this is extremely important. When I say today world, I mostly or specifically mean the new president of United States and the situation what is happening, so-called trade wars. So trade wars they are affecting everyone, and if you're planning, for instance, now entering the US market, you need to consider about this. So far, there is no tax policy implemented on the services, but what we don't know what will happen tomorrow. So also you need to consider about the political situation of the specific country and keep it in the mind that it might be a little bit different. Additionally, you need to consider about the laws and regulations. What do I mean? Specifically talking about the US, um, there are situations that if you start collaboration with the client and they don't pay you, there is very difficult process of getting your money back. This is another huge risk that you need to be aware when you start in collaboration with those type of the market. How will you protect yourself from new policies? How will you protect yourself from new taxes? How will you protect yourself from the difficult client? Think about those questions and think how to solve them before actually you starting engaging or before you start to do activities and investing in the global expansion and investing into entering into this specific market. The fourth point I want to mention is business reputation. This is something that you probably didn't expect to hear. What is the risk of business reputation when I enter in the new market? And it's quite high. What I mean, when you enter a new market, and let's say that you do not have a very specific sales and marketing strategy, then your sales and marketing activities can actually harm your business. How? Basically, you might do something, or you might approach the client, or you might create some marketing copy that will be offending for your potential client. If you do it in not suitable way, then it might hurt your business. Moreover, actually, it can hurt your country. What do I mean? Imagine that multiple companies will approach one potential market. And let's say they will decide all do cold email because this is the way they are familiar with, and then this way work in the other country. Suddenly, multiple, let's say, Vietnamese companies starting sending cold email to some Korean businesses or other businesses, and those businesses or those countries where they sending those emails, they really hate cold email. And then in the IT industry, let's say in the Korea or other country, there start rumors around that Vietnamese people, they really spammy. They really pushy. They don't know how to approach the clients. And this kind of activity from multiple IT companies approaching the same market can actually ruin the branding of the whole country. So guys, you need to be very careful how you approach the client. Specifically, you need to figure out what is the best channel to start reaching out to your potential client in the specific market. And one more thing, you might notice that in the market, some different clients, I mean your ICP, might have a different way or different suitable way to approach them. Let's say one industry they will rather cold calling, another industry will rather email, or high level CEO will rather email, but then lower level manager and procurement department they will rather cold calling. So, except looking at the whole market as one, you need to also look at your ICP and figure out the ICP which way is most suitable way to approach them. So guys, as a last today, I would like to share with you some additional steps what you can take to actually make sure that your global expansion will be more successful and to kind of remove those four challenges I just listed a few minutes ago. So first of all, what I would recommend you is to create some good friendship or partnership with the person or with the business from the country that you are planning to enter. Those people can actually guide you, they can explain you, they can share with you what are the difference and how you should approach the market. Obviously, those people who you want to partner, they should also understand your culture and see the whole picture. Then, only then, they can actually share with you what you should change, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, so on and so forth. And this kind of partner or guide, they are really valuable asset for your business. They can help you to save a lot of time or a lot of money as well. What you can do also, if you have difficulties to find this kind of partner, you can invest your money to work with the consulting business or expert consultant who can help you explain what are the culture different, what are business different, what are the work different, and they can share with you all information you need to enter successfully to the market. Another thing what you can do is continuous research and agility. What do I mean? You need to keep your eyes and ears open, obviously, and be flexible. If you see some new risk occurring on the horizon, keep changing and keep adjusting. Don't be afraid. Sometimes I see the business is stuck in one way because Many years ago, it was a good way, but it doesn't mean that today it's a good way. Keep your eyes open and keep adjusting. Last but not least, think long term and prioritize the brand, the reputation of your business, as well as your country. Keep in the mind that your activities, what you are doing, might hurt your business. So prioritize the brand and prioritize your business as a first. Find a suitable way and then apply only that way. Don't apply something that you think is working, or don't apply something that is working in other markets, because it might not work in the new market. Guys, that's it for today's podcast. What I want you to do next is watch the case study from the Korean market I described in other video. You will see the link to that video here in the top right corner, or you will see the link below. In that video, I described so many cultural differences that it will be so surprising to you, and it will be really enjoying for you to watch how the other markets operate. In this podcast, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. This is Go Global Asia podcast, and I see you in next episode. Bye bye.